are now leaving Denham Springs en route to Nashville, Tennessee. Very, very spur of the moment, very spontaneous. It is Monday, February 6, 2023, a beautiful sunny day, and like I said, I kind of booked the trip on a whim. I was thinking about going last couple of days, thinking about going later on in the week, but I woke up this morning and just had a weird, I guess, instinct or something that why not go today? So found a place that looked pretty good on Airbnb, booked it, and we are now en route.
And just like that, with nothing more than a duffel bag with a couple changes of clothes, my guitar, my harmonicas, and some recording equipment, I was on my way. I didn't have any friends or family in Nashville, so I was going to a new city alone, and I found that to be exciting.
Now, in terms of getting there were a couple different ways I could go, but each one of them had their own challenges in regards to flood water warnings, traffic, and so on. Here's what it looked like on the map. I could go east on I-12, then north towards Jackson, Mississippi, stay north towards Memphis, and then northeast towards Nashville, Tennessee. Or I could go east on I-12, north towards Jackson, east towards Meridian, past Birmingham, Alabama, and north towards Nashville. Going east on 12 towards Biloxi and north through Hattiesburg was not an option because traffic was bad that day.
So it became evident to me that regardless of which route I took to get there, I would be taking Interstate 55, the same mighty interstate system that can take you all the way to Chicago, Illinois if you're so inclined. And that was it. I was headed north on 55.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Is there a better feeling in the world than cruising the open road? I'm not sure there is. One gets the feeling of ultimate freedom. I had 9 hours to drive, and it gave me the chance to think about all the things that are on my mind lately, and also to remember some of the fun things I've done. I miss jamming with these guys. But why was I going?
For the main purpose is to play music. Obviously, I got my best guitar with me, my Guild D50.
And this is that guitar I'm referring to, my 1986 Guild D50. It has a solid spruce top and solid rosewood back and sides. This is a really interesting guitar. I purchased it from a gentleman who lives out of state. One of his hobbies is he acquires vintage USA Guild guitars and then resells them.
When I saw it, I knew that I had to get my hands on it. And coming in at just shy of 40 years old, sporting an LR Baggs M1A pickup, when you play this guitar, it's got some mojo.
So I'm going to get some good vibes from that guitar, maybe write some new stuff, obviously try to play some places, meet some people, open mic nights, maybe even book a gig or something. Who knows what's going to happen? You never know what's going to happen, but this trip is obviously a little retreat of sorts and a getaway, and also very musically oriented. And, it's just the first leg of the trip. That was for the internet, the home internet. They told me that was part of signing up, was that I would get those 2 additional cards.
Who hasn't been here before?
Can you hear me now?
Who was I kidding? It didn't really seem very likely that I was going to get any business done on the road. Here I am trying to resolve an issue that I had with my home internet provider.
Who doesn't know this feeling? I've been placed on a brief hold.
You gotta love it. And although making any progress seemed bleak, there was a bright spot.
Hey Steve, what's going on, man? Oh, not much, just on the road and going out of town for a couple of days. But yeah, I'll be back before the end of the week. Yeah, so I was seeing about, if you had any gigs coming up, if you had any opportunities, you needed someone to play. Yeah. Yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got plenty of material like that, stuff that people know and covers.
And that's the way it goes when you're a gigging musician. A lot of times you have to play the cover songs, the popular songs that people know. This is to be expected because your own songs are not as well known. However, that very fact can be subjective, because several of the musicians that I play with in the Baton Rouge songwriter community will say that this is a geographic thing, and that playing cover songs is just the way of the land in Louisiana. This could be attributed to the rise in popularity of the many cover bands we have in our state, and that perhaps it has created a collective consciousness to where now when live music is being played, people expect to hear cover songs. But could this be any different in Nashville? Will the audiences there be more willing to listen to original material written by the artist? I don't know the answer to that, but one thing's for sure, I intend to find out.
3 hours? Yeah, definitely. I got plenty of material for that. Okay, you ain't got nothing this month. Next, early March. Okay. Yeah, I should be available during that time.
I got the gig for March. Something to look forward to, something to put down on my calendar, and that's great for me. I'll take the wins when I can get them.
How am I feeling about it? I'm feeling very excited, and the human, wanderlust of adventure, hitting the open road. I'm feeling all those things. That probably had a lot to do with my spontaneous pulling of the trigger of just booking the trip when I was thinking about doing it later on, or a little more of a practical decision doing it another time. Just passed the Macomb, Mississippi exit. The significance to that is about 20-30 miles in, off of that exit is JS, Mississippi, where my grandfather and grandmother lived. My grandfather, we called him Papa.
This is Papa sitting next to my brother Quinn, enjoying a nice afternoon. Papa built his house in JS, Mississippi with his bare hands. Papa was a man's man. A veteran, he loved to go hunting and fishing, and he loved raising his beagles to do hunting, like hunting rabbits. Papa could grow just about anything. Everyone used to say that he had a green thumb. Everybody loved Papa. He had such a warm presence about him. Sadly, he passed away about 6 years ago. I miss him like crazy.
Alright, so we are now in hour 5 of our voyage to Nashville, Tennessee. A lot of rolling hills, a lot of beautiful country out here. But Mississippi is a long state. That's all I can say about that. Yeah, we are probably about an hour or so outside of Memphis, and then we're gonna go due northeast after that. Still in good spirits. Got some snacks, some water. Only stopped once in Jackson.
Interesting little tidbit. I've always loved the song Jackson by Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash. And I only recently found out that Johnny Cash is referring to Jackson, Tennessee, not Jackson, Mississippi. I wasn't alone. This created some confusion, but nevertheless, it's a great song. Honey, I'm on a snowball, Jackson. Oh, that's a great song. I'm just imagining myself playing it right now. But I was making great time. Like I said, I only had to stop once. And even though by this point I was a bit road weary, I peeked over my left shoulder to see God's glory on display.
Sitting on a porch swing, watching the rain fill the creek.
This must have been what John Denver was talking about. I've seen it rain in fire in the sky.
River now, the creek is changed.
I find myself constantly searching for moments like this. To take a moment to appreciate the simple beauty of life, and instead to ignore the irksome obligations that we so often find ourselves in. It was at this moment on the journey that I knew everything was going to work out. I had faith in that. It was about 9 o'clock at this time. I had crossed the Mississippi-Tennessee border, passed through Memphis, and was now only about 30 minutes left before I reached Nashville. I had Willie and Waylon riding shotgun with me, but I sure was ready to be there by this point.
Doing the damn best I can.
People are always like blown away, or they don't believe me. I started playing guitar 4 years ago when I was 24 years old. Yeah, man. I was, I graduated college and was basically just kind of treading water, going nowhere, like not really having any kind of purpose. And I picked up a guitar, and man, I took to it like nobody's business, man. I just got obsessed with it, and now lo and behold, 5 years later, I play like 11 instruments. So obviously,
so the guitar was your first instrument. Now you play 11.
It was my gateway instrument. Yeah, man. Like I said,
yeah, it's a gateway drug. Other people were like, "Hey, let's go grab some drinks." So you're like, "I'm at the guitar." Like, screw you guys. I'm going.
No, it's pretty much how it is, man. Missing out on social stuff, but rightfully so. And like I said, I just really kind of found what I was born to do a little bit later on. You know what I mean?
I arrived in Nashville shortly before 10 p.m. that evening, and for a Monday night, the city was jumping. I was really surprised to see that, and I was torn between staying in my condo, relaxing and going to sleep, or going out and about throughout the city, listening to music, meeting folks, and creating opportunities myself. Well, just about any songwriter, and especially any writer who's ever been to Nashville, has been to this place. This is the Bluebird Cafe. Dubbed the songwriters' venue where the heroes behind the hits share their stories and perform their original songs, like artists such as Garth Brooks, Faith Hill, and Taylor Swift having had career-defining moments at this venue. This place is legendary. And it would be here that I would make my first stop in Nashville. These guys are the Mike Henderson Band. The security guard at the door told me that Mike Henderson has written songs for Chris Stapleton and many other big-name country artists. It ought to be illegal to have this much fun. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more epic, I would say my first night in Nashville was off to a hot start. It's clear to see why these people love the Mike Henderson Band. They embody everything about what makes Nashville great. While having a beer, I chatted with the bartender and asked him about some places that I could play while I was in town. For starters, the Bluebird does their own open mic nights, every Monday night from about 6 p.m. till 7:30 or so. Unfortunately, I had arrived just a little too late to have a chance to play in this one. But interestingly enough, even if you were to show up to play the open mic night at the Bluebird, there's no guarantee that you'll get a slot to play, because competition to play this event is fierce among songwriters in Nashville and in high demand. The slots fill up as fast as they open, he said. But he also gave me a tip about a couple other places I should check out. Among them was the Commodore Grill. I took stock of that, paid my tab, and I was on my way. The city was alive. It gave me some hints of downtown Seattle, while also giving me some New Orleans vibes, especially with respect to the entertainment side of things. I'm walking along Broadway Street here, which is a network of bars, clubs, restaurants, and stores where many tourists gather. The Ryman Auditorium was beautiful, lit up at night. Now, I had heard that there was live music literally everywhere you looked and walked in Nashville, but I guess I never let it sink in. Gee, maybe they weren't kidding. It wasn't before long that I met Fernando and Becca. They both worked at a bar called Distillery. I was telling them a little bit about my story and how I had just arrived in town not even a couple hours earlier, looking to play some music, and they instantly said, "Evan, you have to go across the street to Doc Holliday's saloon. We know the musicians playing there." This is Peyton Winstead on the left and Zach Neal. These guys are great. Check them out.
All right.
Baby, I'm trying, just can't catch a break. There's too much in this world, I can't see straight.
I could hardly believe it, but when I went to take a bathroom break, apparently Becca had talked to Peyton and Zach and asked them if their new friend that they just met on the street, myself, could get up there and play a song. Here's Becca and Fernando cheering me on.
So we're a half step down, so we're D sharp. He wanted to be like drop D, so I was like, well, you gotta be a drop C sharp. He said that was impossible.
Can we try him?
No, we're half step down.
At least one time. At least one time. You'll know within 30 seconds. You'll know within 30 seconds.
I'll try not to, Becca. It was really quite something. Here I was at their gig. They didn't have to let me do this. Here's Peyton making sure my levels are good, letting me use his Martin guitar, someone he had never met. Now I told myself on the drive here that the only way I would play a cover in Nashville was if it was a John Prine song. These guys were playing great covers like Tyler Childers' songs, so I was hoping that they would like my cover. I decided to go with a Prine staple, The Speed of the Sound of Loneliness.
Check, check. Alright, I'm gonna do a John Prine cover here.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Yes, sir. All right, little sturdy. Okay, little sturdy girl. I knew he had it. I knew he had it.
You come home late, then you come home early. Come home big when you're feeling small. Come home straight, then you come home curly. Times you don't come home at all. So what in the world has come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. I got a heart that burns like a fever, and I got a worried and a jealous mind. How can a love that lasts forever get left so far behind?
Yes, brother.
So what in the world has come over you? What in heaven's name have you done?
He
You
just
broke
picked
the
that up. He
speed
just
of the
picked that
sound
up.
of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run.
We found this guy on the street. We found him on the street. Seriously. Serious. Yeah, man.
Found him on the street and said, "Hey, let's go to dogs. You will be able to play." Like, what? What? I should get paid for this.
It's a mighty mean and a dreadful sorrow. It's crossed the evil line today. But how can you ask about tomorrow? You ain't got one word to say. I said, what in the world has come over you? And what in heaven's name have you done?
Yeah.
You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. And you're out there running just to be on the run. You're out there running just to be on the run.
Fucking, that is some talent.
Thank you so much, brother.
That is some
God bless you,
talent.
brother. Yeah.
Holy shit. He drove here 10 hours for this, dog. He drove here literally 10 hours for this. Moments ago. From Louisiana. He drove here on a whim.
Like, are you writing music? Or you I do have a lot of originals. I haven't done it. I got here like 2 hours ago. So.
Yeah, he just got here.
Zach and Peyton were both asking me if I was in town for any business, like doing any writing or co-writing. I said, nah, I'm just here to play music and make a documentary.
You can set up to write while you're here.
I'd say it went over pretty well, considering there was a couple moments during the song where I almost forgot the lyrics. A total success. But let's see what Becca and Fernando thought.
What happened?
You shredded.
But I mean, I'm doing this part of the documentary video. Y'all want to be in it?
He didn't
Yeah,
shred.
of course.
So what
Did
happened?
he shred?
So basically,
Drove 10
met
hours
you.
here and then picked up a guitar and shredded.
No, we met you on the side.
That's what the fuck this dude did.
We met you on the side of the street right here, and I said,
Right here.
You're like, I'm a musician. And I was like, perfect. Come over here, meet my friends.
And y'all work where at?
We're at the distillery. This is the bar I manage.
Yep.
Very cool.
And you went there to Docks.
With the dogs. And you
shredded.
fucking killed it.
You killed it.
You killed
Only
it.
because y'all.
Someone
You
else's
killed
guitar
it.
and killed it,
You
dog.
fucking killed it, dude.
No.
And
Don't
That's because
forget
you
us.
guys.
Don't forget
It was a
us
great
when you're
idea for
famous.
y'all to
Yeah,
do.
No, I
you
knew you
fucking
had
killed
it.
it. They
I
were
knew you had
impressed.
it.
Those two were impressed.
Yeah.
They were like, damn.
That's
no,
hard.
Payne was like, damn, he's good. And
Yeah,
I was like,
you
yeah.
nailed it
I
the
know.
first time.
You
Like,
guys are great. I love y'all.
no, of course, man. I love supporting good musicians.
Well, if the rest of the folks in Nashville were anything like Becca and Fernando, I knew I was in for a good time. They were so nice and kind to me. And just like that, my first night in Nashville came to a close. I went back to my car, got some food, back to the condo, and turned in for the night.
We'd reconcile our differences for a while.
I awoke Tuesday morning to a chilly and overcast day in Nashville.
I found worthwhile. I thought that I was destined for better things.
I made a pot of coffee, sat down on the couch, and just kind of thought about what I wanted to do today.
Know for true. And you can spot the differences for a mile.
So yeah, today, looking to meet some more people. I want to go to this place called the Carter Music Store. They got some really old vintage guitars that I like, just like this guy right here. My 1986 Guild D50. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for the vintage USA guitars. They just sound better to me. So anyway, gonna check that out and maybe meet some more people and see what other music opportunities we have in store. I love the little homey touches that my Airbnb host, Christy, had done to the place. This book of famous rock and roll cover art was especially cool. I decided to cross over the Cumberland River to catch a different view. And once you cross over the Cumberland River, you get a real bird's eye view of the Nashville skyline. Behind me and off to the right is Nissan Stadium, where the Tennessee Titans play their home football games. I'm staring at the John Siegenthaler pedestrian bridge. It connects the historic Edgefield side of Nashville to downtown Nashville. You'll often see people walking across this bridge to get to where they need to go on both sides of the Cumberland River. I didn't know it now, but this bridge will become a really cool and integral part of this documentary.
Here I am staring out at downtown Nashville from that pedestrian bridge. If you ask me, this was the best view of the Nashville skyline that I could find. You'll notice as I pan over the skyline that you'll see people just walking back and forth across the bridge going about their daily business. Another neat thing about this bridge is it's somewhat of a culture hub. You'll often find artists, musicians, photographers, and entertainers setting up their offices there and doing their thing, so to speak. Like this guy, Aaron Firm. Really nice guy. I had a chance to meet him. Let's have a listen to one of his songs.
When the rain's blowing in your face, in the whole world's on your case, well, I can offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. Wheeling shadows and stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears. Well, I could hold you for a million years.
Aaron told me that he plays here several times a week. He said he had moved down from Ohio, I want to say, with his wife. And now this is what he did for a living. We spent a few minutes talking about music, life, and a shared appreciation for Guild guitars, as he also had one. And then Aaron said, "Want to play a song?" I said, "Sure, how could I refuse?" And next thing you know, I was playing on the bridge. I gotta admit though, this was my first time ever busking it on the street. Well, bridge, really. I wasn't expecting to get many tips, but was I ready? Shoot, I was born ready. What you're about to hear is a performance of one of my favorite songs that I've written, called See the Changes. It's on my solo record called Meandering Lines. You can find it everywhere, like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and so on. Check.
Sitting on a porch swing, watching the rain fill the creek. The mirror shows another face. River now the creek has changed. It'll swell and then drain. Nothing ever stays the same. Nothing ever stays the same. Yeah. Alright. Mirror shows the same face. The mirror shows a different face. Doing the damn best I can, but I still see the same man. Move 2 steps, you're out of place. You move 3 steps and you're right in place. It's hard to face the man that I am when that mirror shows a different man. Alright, let's go. Sitting on a folding chair, watching the rain fill the creek. It'll swell and then drain. The river now, the creek has changed. It'll swell and then drain. 'Cause nothing ever stays the same. Rising tide, I see the changes. Nothing ever stays the same. And that mirror showing me a different face.
Wow, what a rush. I really enjoyed doing that. I then thanked Aaron for letting me use his guitar and for letting me sing a song at his workstation. Getting to create art through writing songs and performing them for other people is what it's really all about. The desire and urge to create and break new ground is what I truly believe to be the lifeblood of an artist. We just feel compelled to. I then told Aaron goodbye and I wished him well, and I began to walk towards the Edgefield side of the river.
No pressure.
This is Sam Kostler. When I was walking down from the bridge, I saw him skateboarding in a nearby park. At first, I had second thoughts about going up and talking to him, because I figured if I was skating, I wouldn't want to be bothered by someone. But then I said, I'm making a documentary about being spontaneous and living in the moment. So what the hell, I'm gonna go talk to him. Turns out it was the right call, because Sam is a pretty cool dude. He happens to be an accomplished steel guitar player. Check out this clip of him playing a rendition of Georgia on My Mind. Sam told me that he was a touring musician and often spent many weeks playing steel guitar with bands on the road. He said that when he was home, he loved nothing more than to pick up his board and go skating. Ironically though, Sam told me that he didn't play very many gigs in Nashville. He said that he made his living on the road. I loved skateboarding as a kid. I'm surprised I didn't break more bones. Skateboard culture intertwined with music and the X Games and the Tony Hawk video games used to be a really, really big thing in my friend group. And even as a 12-year-old skateboarding, I knew my limitations. It was now 4:30 p.m. and I'd have to leave here soon if I had any hope of getting over to Carter Vintage Guitars before they closed at 6 p.m. Sam told me he had been numerous times and it was a really cool place.
So I got my things, went to my car, hopped over the bridge to my next stop, Carter Vintage Guitars. I had arrived at Carter Vintage Guitars on 625 8th Avenue South. I had remembered seeing a John Prine interview on CBS where he talked about coming to Carter Vintage Guitars quite often to play the different guitars they had there. It's no shocker that I'm a fan of his music, and in that same interview, it culminated with him and John Dickerson, the guy interviewing him, playing a rendition of Paradise, one of Prine's classic songs, right there in the store showroom. I'll go ahead and leave a link to that interview below if y'all want to check it out. A lot of famous musicians and songwriters have come to this store to get work done and to buy guitars. Needless to say, I was ready to check it out. There was some really beautiful guitars in this place, and there was definitely an energy that you could feel walking around. I zeroed in on a couple guitars that I wanted to try out. On the left you have a 1974 Guild F50R. Beside it, it's a 1976 Guild D55. These are both wicked cool. I picked up that 76 D55 and started noodling on it. The D55 plays like a dream. I must admit though, it played a lot like my D50 did. As a matter of fact, it has the same bracing, tone woods, and general specifications that my D50 has. I happen to belong to several Guild enthusiast groups, and a lot of the group members will say that the D55 is basically a D50 just with more ornamentation. Now I didn't have my tripod in the store with me, so I had propped my camera up on a guitar. That was a mistake. Here I am getting yelled at for doing so.
Man, I would sit on somebody's guitar.
Oh, okay, my bad, man.
Yeah.
I was just filming a little.
Although my pride was momentarily bruised, he was right. I was in the wrong. A small accident could have resulted in me damaging one of these guitars. As it turns out, a lot of these guitars in here are on consignment, meaning that the seller brings their guitar to Carter Vintage Guitars to sell for them on their behalf. So the last thing I'd want to do is to damage someone else's guitar. I apologize to the gentleman whose name was Pancho for my poor etiquette, and all was well. That olive branch ended up serving me well. Pancho and I got to talking about the really awesome guitars that they had in the store. He then showed me this 1941 Martin D28, and he even let me play it. Wow, what a cool guitar. Don't worry guys, this time I had my camera propped up against the floorboard. I'll have to admit though, I was a little squeamish when Pancho handed me that Martin. With a $70,000 price tag, that's enough to make anyone nervous about handling it. Enough talking about it, let's have a listen.
Martin D28, but the really amazing thing about it is it is a pre-World War II, or right in World War II, 1941 model. This is Brazilian rosewood, just outstanding. This thing is almost 100 years old. Amazing. And why don't we take a look at that price tag?
Just to prove I wasn't making it up.
Yeah, I'm not lying. That's the price tag. That's.
Well, as a fan of music or a history buff, how can you not love this guitar? I then told Pancho thank you for letting me play such a historically significant piece, handed it back to him, and quite honestly, breathed a sigh of relief that such an expensive guitar was no longer in my hands. I then told him how I had heard about this place from that CBS special. And he said, "Oh yeah, John Prine used to come in here all the time, every week just about. He would eat lunch next door at Arnold's and then walk over here to play the guitars. He said nobody would really bother him though, they just kind of left him alone to do his thing." Unfortunately, John Prine passed away in 2020 due to complications of the coronavirus. His legacy lives on through his music and his family. I'd like to think that if he was still here with us, he'd be here playing this 1941 Martin D28. Wow, today was such a great day. I had so many awesome experiences, met some great people. But there was still one more thing I had my sights on. I wanted to catch a Nashville sunset. So I stopped by the 7-Eleven, picked up a 6-pack, and found the coolest spot I could find. I snapped this photograph using the zoom lens on my digital camera from the opposite side of the Cumberland River. This is downtown Nashville on Broadway Street, all lit up from a fiery sunset, with the storefront neon signs ablaze. With a cold beer in hand, I thought about all of the random decisions that we make on a daily basis, the thousands of thoughts that go through our minds, and the chance encounters that we have with new people. There was a couple people that I met today that weren't featured in the documentary, just because I didn't have time to film everything. Like this one guy that I met, Firefly. He told me that he had recently fallen on hard times, but had aspirations to become a songwriter in Nashville. If you truly believe in God's plan, then no encounter that you had was by chance. I don't know which is more dazzling, Nashville during the day or Nashville lit up at night. All right, so day 2 in Nashville in the books. I would label it a success. Got some cool videos of the Nashville skyline that are really neat, and pictures too. And I figured since it was such a good day that I would get some whiskey. But the weird thing about it out here is that there isn't, I'm so used to going into Rouse's or Walmart and being able to buy whiskey in the same store. And it's not like that out here. It's not like that in a lot of states. Louisiana is kind of an exception there. You have to find liquor stores, and I had trouble finding one for a little while. I guess I could have just Googled it, but I was just driving around looking for one first day. Didn't find one, but on the way back into town today, I did find one, and got me some good bourbon here. So here it is, Old Forester. This is 100 proof bourbon, so sprung for the extra 100 proof. So because it is such a good experience out here and such a great day, I'm going to have a glass of whiskey, some of the good stuff. It's just so funny that, we have drive-through daiquiri shops in Louisiana. It's just a different way of life out here with hard liquor. So it's a little bit more prized if you can find a liquor store with good stuff. It's not as easy to just find like it is in Louisiana. So cheers to a great day, a great trip so far, and to another great day tomorrow, and hopefully some more chances to play some music. Smooth.
Day 3 in Nashville. It was another crisp, cool day with overcast. That's what you can expect for February. I went to a nearby coffee house called The Well Coffee House to get my coffee this morning, and I was driving through downtown again. I didn't know what I had in store for today, but I knew that I wanted to meet some people and to create some music opportunities. One thing worth noting, I did have a weird, eerie dream last night. I dreamt I had been pushed out of an airplane and I was free falling. Even more horrifying was the fact that I didn't have a parachute on. It was a very strange feeling. I knew that I had a long way to free fall before I hit my impending doom, but there was nothing I could do to stop it. I felt utterly helpless and hopeless. But then all of a sudden, I was walking on the ground without any harm. All was okay. I've been feeling this way about life lately. And if dreams really are our subconscious thoughts coming to the forefront, then maybe there is some deeper meaning to the dream. I just think it's a good metaphor for how life can be sometimes, especially when you take a risk. It can feel like you're free falling and that things are bleak, but you just have to trust that if you commit to it, you'll land on your feet safely.
I was a highwayman, along the coach roads I did ride, with a sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade, and many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. The bastards hung me in the spring of 25, but I am still alive. I was a sailor I was born upon the tide, and with the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner around the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft and furled the mainsail in a blow. And when the yards broke off, they said that I got killed. But I am living still. I was a dam builder, crossed the river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide. A place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound, but I am still around. I'll always be around and around and around and around and around. I'll fly a starship across the universe divide, and when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again, or I may simply be a single drop of rain. I will remain, and I'll be back again and again and again and again and again
I want to make CDs, I want to make artwork, I want to put liner notes and all that, but that's just not, I'm not the best with self-promotion. So with me not, that's why I said I feel you on that. Like at the end of the day, it's like, well, you got to get your streaming presence more, out there and more prevalent. But it's like, I'm fighting this like internal, like I don't even give a fuck like if it doesn't get popular. So it's like,
right.
But some people, like they're really good at the savvy of getting their stuff out there and getting it popular and branding, and that's just something that I'd rather write the songs and hopefully people come to the songs, but everyone's different.
It's interesting in talking with people because I'm recognizing that more and more is an issue, right? Like we're living in this world where, like you said, like in the digital era, it's possible to have friends find you and like just, and maybe we don't have time to listen to like your entire album, and so we can't like buy the vinyl or anything like that, but we can commit like, I'll take the 5 minutes to listen to this song
to a single,
and exactly, and like as
I was itching to play some music again today in front of people. I figured I'd hit up the Commodore Grill tonight. After doing some filming downtown and by the bridge, and after meeting some people, I headed back to my condo to get ready for tonight. I didn't know anybody that would be going. I didn't even know if I showed up that there would be a spot for me to play. Kind of like how it is at the Bluebird if you don't sign up. But I had a premonition that I was going to meet some great people there and have a great event. Call me crazy, but I actually found the consistent pace at which these machines worked to be quite soothing. I arrived at the Commodore Grill on 2613 West End Avenue to a packed house with probably 50 to 70 people there in attendance. This is Debbie Champion on sound. She's also the host of this event. She said she's been doing this event for several decades now. The talent among the musicians here tonight was off the charts. Several had their own notoriety in the songwriting world of Nashville. I like to think that I don't really get nervous anymore when I go to perform, but I must admit that I was a little bit tonight. And here was the format for this evening. There were several rounds where songwriters who had signed up to play would play a set of a couple of their songs. These are commonly referred to as songwriter rounds. And after these concluded, the event would open up for open mic night for other musicians to sign up. As luck would have it, there was a slot available for 9 p.m., so I put my name down. Then Debbie said, "Make sure you're on time and your guitar is tuned up before you go on." Those are the rules, no exceptions. I said, "Okay." Then I went to the bar and ordered a double Woodford Reserve neat. And I was set to play after this group finished. This is Amber Westerman playing. I was offside stage getting set up and tuning my guitar when I noticed that Amber was having trouble with her guitar. She was fiddling with the knobs and playing it, but no sound was coming out. I've been here before. It's not a good feeling, especially at an event with this many people watching and with the rules a little bit more strict like they are. Without thinking twice, I walked over to Amber with my guitar and said, "Here, use mine." She must have felt a little rattled, but she never faltered. And with my guild in hand, check out this performance of her song.
I wanna dance in the rain, have you hold me for days, pressing on the sustain, take me away. When the harmonies flow, when we know we're better together, take me forever. We sing the same song, and it always goes on.
Hey, I'm Amber Westerman, a singer-songwriter based out of Nashville, Tennessee. I played a songwriter round at the Commodore Grill where I met Evan, and he seemed like such a kind soul, and we connected right away. And whenever it was my time to go up on stage, I went up there with my brand new guitar and plugged in, and it wasn't working. I was kind of freaking out because it was my first gig playing at that location, and it's a pretty well-known spot in town for writers rounds. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, in my head, like, what am I gonna do? And I feel like in those moments, it's so important to just like trust and like lean into the unknown of the moment. And after trying a couple different chords on my guitar, Evan was so kind and just offered for me to play his guitar while I was up there. I was a little nervous because I normally play like really small body guitars, and his was so big compared to mine, but it ended up working out so perfectly, and it sounded great, and I was so grateful that he saved me that night.
You're so welcome, Amber. It was my pleasure. This is what we do for one another in the songwriter community. We look out for each other. The moment had arrived. Here's Debbie checking my levels.
Kevin, can I read this? Check, sorry. Guitar?
1 second. Golly. I was kind of scrambling here because remember, I let Amber use my guitar and she played right before me. So that didn't give me much time to get mine ready to go. And remember, you're supposed to be tuned up before you go on stage. Here I am telling my playing partner Leighton that that's kind of lame that we're only getting one song. We were originally told that we would probably get 2 songs to play. What you gonna do? You deal with the cards that you're dealt, and you do the best you can. Now, if you were to ask me 1,000 times a day, every day, 7 days a week, why I played my slower finger-picking number, Brown and White Stray Dog, I still wouldn't be able to tell you. Although I think it's one of my best written songs, I just don't think it was the right song to play for this event. But then again, hindsight is always 20/20.
Every day of this life is a gift. I've been blessed beyond belief. Thank you, Jesus. When the sun comes up, the sun goes down. It sure is nice when I'm laying next to you, baby.
Couple of things to note. I thought the volume on my guitar was a little too low here. But that's on me. I have a volume knob on my guitar's pickup. I could have easily adjusted. The other thing is, it's obvious that I should have read the room and picked a different song. And even though I was proud of the performance, I felt a little bit like a baseball player who steps up to home plate and strikes out with a full house watching. And despite the fact that I got an applause, I just felt like I didn't connect with the audience. It's one of those things as a musician and a performer that you just know. I felt that the wind had been taken out of my sails. Here I had driven all the way to Nashville for a moment like this, and I felt like I might have just missed my chance.
Last song for the night. This is Leighton Robinson.
Hello, everybody.
Leighton had the right idea.
So I totally Taylor Swift my ex-boyfriend, and I wrote a song about him. And if you heard it, I bet he'd be really mad. And it's called Way Past Worth. Something that gives me more than this empty. 'Cause now my glass is broken on the floor. And I can see clearly just how you trained me. I got nothing more. Gave you all I have, and now I'm sitting empty-handed. Oh, you ran me dry. My pocket's hurting for the pain of every time. Oh, I paid under the guy, but now I'm coming up short.
I struck up a conversation with Leighton before we went on. We talked for a while. She's from Arkansas. She's obviously a very talented songwriter and musician. She said she was in town doing some co-writing and that her agent had just told her on a whim, "You should check out the Commodore Grill." She said she almost didn't even come. Leighton's going to be on this season of American Idol. Y'all keep y'all's eyes out for her.
There's a writer's night tonight. I want to thank all of you for coming out. What a great writer's show. Thanks, special thanks to all the songwriters. My name is Danny. I'll be here tomorrow night.
And just like that, the event was over. Or was it? Here I am beckoning the audience to say it louder. I once heard a wise person say, "Give the people what they want." It was really incredible. I was going to get another chance to play a song and to connect with the audience. A little bit of serendipity, perhaps, Who knows? But I was all for it.
Alright, this is called See the Changes. You know, you go through life and a lot of changes happen, but you try to age gracefully. I'm a little bit older than late here, so I know a little bit more about it. It's a sentiment that everyone can relate to, I'm sure. It's called See the Changes. Sitting on a porch swing, watching the rain fill the creek. That mirror showed me another face. River now, the creek has changed. It'll swell and then drain. Nothing ever stays the same. No, nothing ever stays the same. Yeah. All right. Mirror shows the same face. Mirror shows a different face. I'm doing the damn best I can, but I still see the same man. Move 2 steps, you're out of place. You move 3 steps and you're right in place. It's hard to face the man that I am when the mirror shows me a different man. Alright, let's go. Watching the rain fill the creek. Rising tide, I see the changes. It'll swell and then drain. A river now, the creek is changing. It'll swell and then drain. 'Cause nothing ever stays the same. Rising tide, I see the changes. Nothing ever stays the same. And that mirror showed me a different face. Thank you very much.
And the last
I don't know what the hell I'm doing here.
You know, you gonna leave this for a girl?
Hey, can y'all please keep it down? I'm trying to work on a song here.
No, you shut up.
not as fun.
You should go and rest a while. Better than fake another smile. Tried and tried, but it don't work. Ended up with my face in the dirt. All the road maps I've got never lit the pathway to you.
What is it I love to do? Like, I love to talk to my friends, like right after I get off of work. And that's why I started the podcast.
Hey,
Anyway.
man, I get such, you probably can relate to this. I get such a thrill out of listening to recordings. Like when you think about like recording something that's going to live on possibly forever, it's like it goes against all of the natural order of things. Like something that you do is not supposed to last forever. Like, you're not the person you were when you were 18, but a recording keeps a permanent time capsule of that time if you recorded it when you were 18. And everything I do, I try to record video of it, like whether it's a gig. And like even from 2 years ago, not that long ago, I'm like, man, like I'm so glad I got this captured, because I'll never know what I was thinking that day 2 years ago, but I have this like permanent memory of it with this recording, and what I was wearing that day, what I said, what I played when I recorded that track 2 years ago, like how I sang that, like that. I don't have to try to remember what that was like. I have this recording to spark my memory of that. Yeah. And I love listening to, like, I'm sure, for podcasts, like for you too, like you have this like permanent recording in memory of what you said on that day. And it's cool to always have that,
Thursday morning, February 9th, 2023. Today I was leaving Nashville. I woke to a beautiful sunny day for the first time all week.
I decided to stop by the Well Coffee House one last time.
This place stood for something cool. They said they're a missional coffee house focused on sustainable solutions to poverty, and they turn their profits into hope. According to their website, they give all of their profits to people in need. They say, we love coffee, but we love people even more. Pretty cool setup here. Maybe next time I come to Nashville, I'll try to book a gig here. I could even make a sequel to this film about the relationships and connections I've made on this trip and any music endeavors that happened because of them. Who knows? I find myself feeling a range of emotions on my drive out of Nashville. Reflecting on my last few days here, there were some really great moments of euphoria and some great introspection.
I also really stepped out of my comfort zone, met new people, and played music in places that I had never been before.
Today I have a smile on my face. Decided I ain't gonna run this damn race. Sat on the couch for an hour or four. Then hit my funny bone on the oven door. But every day of this life is a gift, and I've been blessed beyond belief. But the sun comes up, sun goes down. It sure is nice when I'm laying next to you, baby.
A fork in the road, should I even ask why? I trudge along on the lonelier side. You're caught up in things that really don't matter. It's a winding road, where it goes I don't know. But keep your head down, don't ask for a handout.
And there goes that old stray dog again. Looks like he's been fed, you know we do what we can. Every day of this life is a gift.
I was cruising home towards Louisiana on a good pace. The drive through Tennessee and upstate Alabama was really beautiful during the day, with many parts of the interstate being carved right into the rock of the mountains and hills I was passing.
And it sure is nice when you're laying next to me, baby.
It was now about 4:30 p.m. I had been driving close to 5 hours, so I decided to stop in Meridian, Mississippi to get something to eat and to take a break.
Next to you, baby.
After a late lunch, I stopped off at the Bonita Reservoir in Meridian to stretch my legs. It was a beautiful day, so I sat down on a bench.
All right, so it is Thursday, February 9th, and we are now on the tail end of my spur-of-the-moment Nashville trip for the purpose of meeting new people, creating opportunities, living in the moment, and playing music at different places. I was sitting at my Airbnb in the evening time thinking about just kind of doing some work on the documentary and taking it easy, not going anywhere that night, when I just had this idea, hey look, the whole documentary is about creating opportunities and living in the moment. So like, what am I doing sitting in my condo? So I had gotten a tip from this bartender at the Bluebird Cafe that the Commodore Grill did open mic nights and songwriter events, but that's all he told me. He didn't really have any specifics about it. So I had no details about it, and I couldn't find anything online. So I really went there last night not knowing anything about any event going on. I played with someone I met who is now we're great friends. She's such a nice person. Her name is Leighton Robinson. The crowd liked our set so much that they shouted for one more, and we encouraged them to let us play another, so we got to play 2 songs.
And what I found even more gratifying was that many of the people in the audience told Leighton and I afterwards that they wished that we had played the entire night.
And that was really, really exciting. And then afterwards, Leighton and I had some really deep conversations, and we went to downtown Nashville and walked around, and it was just great talking to her and sharing some inspiration.
I then spoke about meeting Amber and sharing a genuine connection, and how she used my guitar to have a great set.
Electrical was going out, so that's what we do. That's what musicians do. We help each other out, and I'm glad that I can, share a little bit of that Southern hospitality from Louisiana. Because I know that back home, that's what we would do for each other. So I was happy to do that for her, and she had a great set. Check her out too. Very, very successful trip. Just what I needed.
just what I needed and didn't even know that I needed. That's the best way I can put it. I feel like I had a tremendous amount of growth on this trip. So the future is wide open, and we'll see where the wind takes me.
I had someone ask me, why did you make a documentary about going to Nashville in the first place? The only answer I could give was I was searching for something, for that thing that gives me that feeling that we all get. You know that feeling.
Sunrise this morning, I've seen you before.
And maybe that's the takeaway from this whole experience, is to find that thing that gives you that feeling and to do it as much as you can. And whatever that thing is for you, hold it as sacred, because that's a God-given gift. And sometimes the choices you make in pursuit of your gift won't make sense to other people. It'll be misunderstood. And that's okay. Keep doing it anyway. Just keep doing it.
Supernova skies, keep me free from sin. Don't ever burn out. Who's to blame? I said. Supernova skies, I'm insane again. When I'm finally up, it's 1:45 noon. Don't